Hi everyone and welcome to this month's FS in Focus. Given we're just days away from the UK election, we thought it only fitting to dedicate this briefing to that. We first spoke about the election expectations back in February with Sarah Ashley, partner in our government practice, and I'm delighted to welcome her back here today. Sarah, welcome back. I didn't think either you or I would have expected to be back this quickly.
No, we definitely never talked about a July election. I think we thought about a number of different scenarios, but not a July election. Well, it's good to be back so quickly. And I thought today we'd talk a little bit about what's in both the Conservative and the Labour manifestos and really focus on the Labour one because that's where the bookies are saying that we're going to end up. If I look at the Conservative one, it's very much more of the same. There's been some headline-grabbing policies around national service for 18-year-olds and also future tax cuts. If we look at the Labour manifesto, that's really focused on 5 different mission-led government areas. Number 1, secure growth, so securing the highest level of growth out of the G7 countries. Making Britain a clean energy superpower, so the move to GB energy and accelerating to net zero. There's a mission called Take Back UK Streets, which has got lots of different policies which sit underneath it, reducing violent crime by half, breaking down barriers to opportunity, and that talks around childcare and the British education system. And lastly, the NHS, so building an NHS which is fit for the future.
So some big policies there covering the whole of the UK society and economy. And if we think, given that we've only got 10 minutes together, about financial services and what it means for financial services, and particularly if we think about Labour and what Labour are saying, given that they're the bookies' favourites, what is their approach to financial services?
Okay, so Labour have set out 4 guiding principles for FS policy. The first is promoting the UK financial sector as a real source of UK competitive advantage, building on both the strength of London and Edinburgh and more regional hubs for the financial services industry. The second is around balancing consumer protectionism, competitiveness and financial stability. So there's support for the Mansion House reforms and also a broader set of measures to support in that space. There's again support for the UK financial institutions' independence. So Rachel Reeves, the Shadow Chancellor, has come from the Bank of England. So of course that's very important. And that real commitment to fiscal responsibility. I think we've heard Labour talk about that a lot, a real desire to support financial fiscal responsibility for the UK as a whole.
It's great to see financial services so prominent in their manifesto, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you will have seen they've done lots of engagement with UK financial sector leaders. So, Alex, that's what's in the manifestos. What are you hearing your clients say?
Well, I suppose firstly, very few of them reveal any sort of political leaning or preference. But what's clear from everyone I speak to is that they want a quick, clean and very decisive outcome for business and investor confidence. I think the focus on financial services and the aspiration for financial services to be centre of the drive for the greatest growth within the G7 is absolutely welcome. So there's lots of positive sentiment that's coming out of the principles from Labour at the moment. If we think a bit more about the policies themselves, increasing international competitiveness and particularly the focus on regulatory and supervisory efficiency is very much welcome. We're a very heavily regulated industry sector, so anything that makes that more efficient, more effective is very much welcomed. Reinforcing consumer protection and financial inclusion can only help increase confidence that the wider society has in the sector. So again, if implemented sensibly, that is seen as a very positive thing by many. Aspirations to lead the world in sustainable finance. I talk to clients and they're seeing huge opportunities in that space. Opportunities for new products, new services that will pay dividends for many years to come. Embracing innovation, the role of fintech within the financial services sector, particularly things like the role of AI, the way in which we look at the future of open banking, central bank digital currencies. All of these are essential, frankly, for the future growth of our sector. And then finally, just if I think about pensions and retirement savings, anything that enables people to create more sustainable later life income is seen as absolutely necessary at the moment. So these are clearly just a few talking points, but there's much to be excited about if next government is able to enact the policies effectively and put financial services at the heart of the growth agenda for the UK economy. And I suppose that is front and centre in many people's minds. How committed do you see the main parties to being to enacting these policies quickly and effectively? How well set up do you think they are at the moment?
Well, definitely, if we have a change of government to Labour, there's a lot for them to learn. But
Mm.
what we're hearing is that they want to make a really fast start. So the UK election is on the 4th of July. After the partying is finished on the 5th, everyone will soon be back at work on the 9th of July, the Tuesday afterwards, when the new members of Parliament will be sworn in. We can expect to see a King's Speech fairly quickly after that, probably the following week, which will lay out what the government wants to achieve in this Parliament. Now, not everything that the government will want to achieve will be in the King's Speech, but the key bits will be in there. So your clients will need to look out for those hooks, which mean it happens. Also, over the summer, our Parliament has a period of recess. That's usually about a month's time. We hear that this is going to be shortened this year if we have a Labour government, so that they can start getting some of the legislation they want to enact onto the statute books. And then in the autumn, we have the conference season. We're also hearing that that is likely to be shortened this year as well, so that they can really get moving and move us into this kind of new government.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Really appreciate it. So clearly a lot to think about, and a lot can change in 6 days, but the bookies seem to have their winner in Labour. Any change to the status quo is bound to cause some uncertainty. So I'd advise you to make sure you're familiar with the key policies for each proposed party and understand what they might mean for you and your business. We're all hoping that whoever the new government is focuses on enabling the opportunity that exists within the financial services sector. For now, that's all we have time for. See you again soon.